Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I just decided to come on for today's podcast and for today's YouTube video and show up just as authentically, vulnerably as possible. Normally I'm looking more professional than this, but this is like real life. So I had all these ideas in my iPad. I plan out all my podcast episodes, and I would love to be able to batch and work ahead. And I've done that for quite a few, but for me, I'm just not at that point yet where I'm fully capable of creating the space to have like a CEO day yet, which I would love to get to. But I also like sharing in real time real things that are going on with me. And so I like to be able to flex my different episodes. So I was going to do how to decide what to prioritize. And then I switched it to productivity. Rest is productive. Talking about the Instagram meme that makes me cringe last week. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely do. And then this week I was going to talk about how to communicate what you're working on with your boss. And next week, your mid-year goal check-in. It's not too late to set an intention. And I'm just gonna like throw that out the window right now because for me, those topics are not relevant at the moment. So if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that we've been going through a blood shortage. It's a national and regional blood shortage. And to be honest, our blood supplier is rocking it and doing amazing work, ensuring that we get blood to the hospitals in our healthcare system. So no complaints there. Super happy. But at the same time, it's also a lot of work internally to coordinate, have contingency plans, and ensure that the processes are working as developed and getting alignment from all our key stakeholders, communicating with key stakeholders, all the things. It takes massive energy, and it takes massive energy over the entire workday and beyond. So I come on this podcast and YouTube channel, and I love to preach about rest. In fact, if you're listening, Jed made a joke to me about my my podcast episodes about rest, and I thought it was funny. He's pretty funny. So anyway, Jed, shout out to you. Come on the podcast if you want to have a voice. Anyways, I talk about rest, and I also talk about not working beyond work hours because it leads to burnout, resentment, and turnover in your job. And there's also often a time where you do need to work beyond your scheduled hours, especially if you're a salaried person, because the idea is that you flex, that some days you'll have less work and you can maybe sign off early or take some days off, and other days you're expected to be here until the work is done. And that's okay because it balances itself out. What I don't want people to do is be consistently working beyond their means all the time, because honestly, it's not 100% necessary all the time. When you think about weeks like this where we're working through blood shortages, and let me be real, today we launched training for a brand new computer system for our entire system for our blood bankers. So there's about 245 folks that need to be trained, and we developed this training from scratch, my team and I, and it's been a lot of work and resources and development and, obviously, right? But none of that work happens in a vacuum, right? So just one example is adding the blood shortage on top of it, and all the other things we have going on, right? And that's normal. In leadership, you've got to be able to juggle and toggle between different things and whatnot. But I guess, and what I'm saying is, when you think about the times like this, when there truly are reasons to stay beyond whatever your punch out time is, those other days seem so light and seem so easy. And you look back and wonder, why did I stay so late just to check off that tiny to-do that I can do tomorrow? I think times like this show us how efficient we really can be when our time is limited. So I just want to say that I'm very tired because I keep track of how many hours I work. I haven't tabulated it up in total, but I probably put in 12 or more hours a day, multiple days in a row last week, and checking in on the weekends a little bit, and then again yesterday, several hours. And it's funny, even today, I got the training launch. I'm so happy. Our blood supply is getting better. Things are great. And I'm on a meeting that goes till 4. I normally don't have a meeting that late on this day. And so I'm kind of doing my sign-off routine around 4:30, and I get pinged that one of our patients needs a special product that we only have at one of our sites, and we need to transfer it to another site. And I think, okay, one more thing, right? One more thing. We can do this. Luckily, I have amazing people on my team, but I also have new people training. And so having to be there for them when, this is something they need to be knowing, and in the future they will know and will not have to ask me. But for now, I'm attached and accountable and responsible for ensuring they have the tools that they can do their job. So I was all ready to sign off, and then just had a couple extra things, probably an extra half an hour onto my day, and I'm tired. But it's so funny. Just take a quick drink of coffee there. It's so funny to think about the difference between my tired now and my tired when I first started, when I was just 25 in a leadership position. This was back in 2015 or so. And if I was this, when I would have been tired like this, when I was bringing up automation and staying late and depleting myself, I would not have felt the way I feel now. I would have felt resentful, burnt out, tired, and just like physically and emotionally abused. But today, I actually feel so grateful. Like I've been smiling all day and happy and excited, and I think it's the shift in perspective. It's the fact that I know I haven't been on this crazy train of working these immensely long hours that I'm not used to working, and this is, a transient short time. And I can see the amazing progress and work that my team and I have been doing the last week or so, and I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud of everybody. I've been sending more recognition emails and cards, and just feeling like, yeah, I'm chugging along, but like, let's go. Like, let's just go. So all that to say is that when you take better care of yourself outside of work, you set clear boundaries with work, and you do have to work late sometimes, the right times, or long hours in the right times, you don't feel that same resentment. You just feel excited and so grateful for your team and joyful. So, yeah, I think that was an interesting realization that I didn't really come to until yesterday. So yesterday I was having a team meeting with my boss and my peers, and there's 3 of us plus my boss, and my boss is awesome. And she always has us start our manager meetings, our team meetings, with one word, like 1 or 2 words for how we're feeling. And so yesterday I talked about, my word was what? And if you haven't listened to it, let me scroll back and see which episode it is. But I did a YouTube video all about using coaching questions to with your folks. And it's a really, really good, I think maybe I only made it into a YouTube video. I'm kind of like surfing my podcast lineup right here. Yeah, I think I only made it into a YouTube video. Interesting. Maybe I should throw it up here too. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll link to it in the show notes. But it's called Coaching Through Questions, I believe. And it's a book that I read. It's called The Coaching Habit by Michael Stanier. I'm not going to say that right. Actually, I just want to like fangirl moment. I tagged him in a post about the fact that I read the book and some thoughts on the questions that he poses to help other leaders. And he messaged me back and like wrote me back. And I was like, oh my God, a celebrity. But anywho, so my word of the day, like how I was feeling was what, because I've been using these questions like, what can we do about it? What else could we do? What did we expect to happen? And it kind of gets you into that mindset where you're more elevated and you're really seeking curiosity, and you're thinking about what's possible versus what's happening to you, right? So wonderful. So I was just like, that's what's really getting me through, is like recognizing I don't have to solve all the problems that are coming up because there's a lot of things this week. I just have to reflect back to other people, and then they can solve their own problems. So that's been wonderful. But one of my coworkers in that group said something about feeling like unsteady, like he's on a boat and it just keeps like teeter-tottering back and forth, and he gets in a calm spot, and then, like another wave crashes in, and I'm like, oh man, like I can relate, because I feel like that. Like my example from tonight, like it's kind of rocky, it's crazy, and then I think I got the calm, and then another wave, like, okay, one more thing, it's to take care of, and it's always something else, and so, I appreciated him sharing that, because it just felt like, okay, we're all in this. And then my boss gave her word, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's basically about gratitude and feeling grateful. And she said, I have a lot going on, but what I've been doing is sticking to like my meditation habit and my journaling habit. And because of that, like she started her day a little later because she had a training that was going into the evening. So she's like, yeah, I just took some extra time in the morning and like did my practice and felt so grateful during it. And it's funny because she said the same thing. Like, I don't think, like what's wonderful is to be able to find the peace in the crazy, like in the storm, being able to find that. And, we talked about like how isn't that the ultimate goal of those meditation practices and all of the personal development work that we do, is that you don't just meditate or find the peace and the joy inside of you when things are calm on the outside, right? You actually want to find it too when things are crazy on the outside, and finding that inner calm, because then like you're mastered your own emotions, yourself, your thoughts. Oh, I get the chills thinking about that, because we talk so much about how our thoughts control our actions and our beliefs, and all of the things that we integrate into how we react throughout the day. And damn, if you master your thoughts and find the calm when it's crazy, like you made it. Sorry, I felt like I heard my daughter. She has a hard time sleeping right now because it's summer and it's not super dark out, so I'm sure you parents can relate. So anyways, let's see how long this podcast is now. Okay, only about 13 and a half minutes. So yeah, I'm tired and things are crazy, but I'm feeling so grateful, which is totally a shift. So if you're in a spot where you're not feeling like I am, but maybe you're experiencing extra work or longer hours and everything like that, just know that it's taken me years to get to this place. 2020 helped me really transform, and I was well on my way in 2019, I think. But I think what really, really forced me to take a look at slowing down, reevaluating my priorities, taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, was after I had my daughter, Kate, and that was in 2018. So, 3 years later, and, obviously we all I think we all seek to improve all the time, right? Continuous improvement's the goal. I don't know if you ever have quote unquote arrived, like I mentioned, but just knowing that you've improved so much, but it takes time. I hope that gives you hope, knowing that like it's not instant. One day you tell yourself like I'm calm and I don't resent my work for, making me work late. No, that doesn't happen overnight. It's really like it's a mindset shift practice. That's why they call it a mindfulness practice, because it's not something that you master right away. And I don't know if anyone ever does. You practice it every single day. So that's where I'm at. I just thought it was really important to come on here and be authentic and real, because leadership doesn't always look like wearing a suit coat and being professional and polished. Sometimes it looks like wearing a sweatshirt that's like your favorite one that has like food on it from your kid, and your hair is just crazy, and you have your glasses and whatever instead of putting in your contacts, and you just don't care because that's who you are. It looks like researching. It looks like quiet moments when you're alone. It looks like talking with your team. It looks like not always being on, quote unquote on. It means making mistakes, getting messy, take chances, to quote Miss Frizzle. And if you don't know who Miss Frizzle is, I really hope you look it up. I mentioned it to my team the other day, and they didn't know who she was. So I felt kind of old or just like really out of touch. And I never claimed to be a cool millennial anyways. So, all right, I'm going to be done rambling. But I hope this resonated with you guys, and just, I don't know, let me know if you want me to do more of these types of podcasts and videos for you. Of course, I love a good polished podcast with tangible tips and tricks and worksheets and all of that. But also, like, that's a lot of pressure all the time. And you know what? It's not necessary. Just kind of having these coffee conversations, too, are also really, really powerful, I think, for reflection. So anyways, I hope you all take care. It's currently raining outside, and got some good news today that my baby is looking great. I'm, almost 19 weeks pregnant, 19 weeks pregnant tomorrow. And so I love the rain. So for me, that's like an amazing omen. I'm just like, I guess maybe that's also why my gratitude is just skyrocketing. So anyways, if you don't know my story, go back and watch some of my videos entitled Leading Through Tough Times. I've had 2 ectopic pregnancies, and we did IVF for this baby. And so, yeah, it's just amazing what science can do. All right, anyways, talk soon. Be a light and take care.